this is part two to the New England versus the Philadelphia Eagles aftermath. Here's Shannon discussing what he's seen in the game last night.
We seen him play well. We saw him play the best football game of his career in the NFC Championship game. And I said, Skip, there's no way he can play like that. There's no way. I said, because if he plays like that, they're going to win. So I'm saying, no way can he play like that.
Yeah, they did torch the Vikings in the NFC Championship game. That was a great Vikings defense. That was a really, really, really good Vikings defense. I was amazed that and impressed by Nick Foles playing that well in that game, in that moment, in that stadium, in the Minnesota Vikings stadium. And he ended up winning the Super Bowl in that same stadium. They were familiar with that stadium because they played in that stadium a week before the Philadelphia Eagles did. So, yeah, that was very, very impressive what he did against that Vikings defense. That was a great defense. They played great all year. They even had a backup quarterback playing in their game or in their season because they had quarterback issues as well in injuries.
Skip, he played better. Because we've seen guys play well in the wild card game or play well, play in a divisional round or even the championship game. But there's nothing like that stage when it's Super Bowl. Man, Skip loves Q.
There have been backup quarterbacks to win Super Bowls. Jeff Hostetler did it for the Giants. You had Doug Williams do it for the Washington Redskins back in the 80s or in the 90s. That was the early 90s. You had other quarterbacks back up. You had Tom Brady. He was a backup. He backed up Drew Bledsoe when he got hurt. So you have had you had a Trent Green when he got hurt. You had Kurt Warner come in and lead the Rams to the Super Bowl. So we have had backup quarterbacks in the past lead their teams to the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl, but not. It hasn't happened often, and when it does happen, it's very, very impressive that those backup quarterbacks were able to win the Super Bowl. Doug Williams was the first black quarterback to win the Super Bowl.
QBR. Do you feel like QBR? Can you tell me which quarterback had the higher QBR?
89-84, Nick Foles over Tom Brady.
He answered everything Tom Brady threw at him. I thought the most important drive of the ball game for the Philadelphia Eagles, coming out of the half, the Patriots got the ball first, and 2 minutes and 45 seconds later, they were in the end zone. And what did the Eagles and Nick Foles do? They went right back down the field, and it took them 5 minutes to get back, and they had another 10-point lead. Skip, they had to answer that bell. Because this is what we know about the Patriots. This is how they like to perform. They like to get points right before the half, get points coming out of the half.
Yeah, Shannon is very, very correct. The New England Patriots, man, the one thing about them, they are a very proficient team. They score when they need to score. They score when off of your mistakes. And the Eagles had to match the New England Patriots. I believe the New England Patriots did not even have a punt in the whole game, which is crazy in itself. You don't punt the whole game. You score 33 points. Your quarterback throw for over 500 yards. You would think the New England Patriots win that game, but the New England Patriots defense got scorched by the Eagles and Nick Foles. But the Patriots defense were hanging by a Band-Aid anyway throughout the year. In the beginning of the year, I remember the first 4 games their defense has been the worst since Belichick has taken over that franchise. That was the worst defensive stretch of his career. So the Patriots, their defense, they had that bend but don't break defense for the rest of the way, but they broke all the way in half in this Super Bowl. They picked the wrong game to break in half. But Nick Foles were able to take advantage of them. Malcolm Butler didn't play. I don't understand why he didn't play. But like I said, we will hear more about that in the days coming. Maybe he will say something on Twitter or something why he didn't play. I don't think that relationship can be repaired. He may ask for a trade. I would not begrudge him for asking for a trade. He did not get to play in the biggest game of the year for some odd reason.
Their defense gets you 3 and out, and Tom Brady's right back on the field. So if they're down, the next thing you know, they go in with a score, they come out with a score, they're either tied or they're ahead of you. But the Eagles said, no, we're not going away. We're built for this. You and I both felt 53 man to 53 man, the Eagles had the better team.
No doubt.
Yes, that's true. The Eagles had the better defense from top to bottom in this game. The only really thing that the Patriots had was Tom Brady at quarterback, which is a lot. I'm not saying it's not, but from top to bottom, especially in football, a team like the Eagles that they had on special teams, their kicking game, their defense, it was just too much for even Tom Brady to overcome. Which Tom Brady did play a great game. For him not to have the best team, he kept his team in the game and almost was able to win the game down the stretch. That shows Tom Brady's greatness.
Minus Gronk and Tom Brady. Obviously, the coaching that was not even standard. That was not even up for
I
debate.
just said minus Tom Brady, but go ahead.
I have to say, Brandon Cooks did get injured in this game. He took a big hit in the first quarter. He was unable to return to the game. They have that new concussion protocol to where you have to, if you have a concussion, they can sit you out for the rest of the game. They have an independent doctor on each sideline. The team doctor cannot put you back in the game. The independent doctor has to clear you to play in the game.
And the drive after New England took the lead and to go 7 minutes and 1 second and go back down the field, Skip. That's huge. That is huge. Doug Peterson says, I've been aggressive all year, and we've seen teams get to this game. They play one way the whole season, and then when they get to this game, here we come in here on a Monday, or we come in here the following day like, that's not who they were. That's not who they've been the entire season. What changed? If you look at them, they were, when you combine third and fourth down, they were 12 of 18. 12 of 18. Doug Peterson's going for it on fourth down. He pulled that old Baker Mayfield play. You know, Baker Mayfield, they ran that very same play against Georgia right before the half, Skip. They're going to get points. They could have like, well, look, let's just run the ball. No, Doug Peterson said, we're going for it. They did the exact same thing in the championship game. 8 minutes time of possession.
Yeah, Doug Peterson, the coach for the Eagles, he was very, very aggressive in this game, and it paid off for him in this game. You know, usually coaches, but that's what coaches get paid for. They get paid to make the tough decisions in tough situations. He was able to cash in on just about every tough situational call that he made, and it paid off in the Super Bowl victory. It's kudos to him and kudos to his team.
We saw Jacksonville have the ball 8-9 minutes more than
Philly got it
8 more minutes, 34 and a half to 25-56. We saw Jacksonville in the championship game possess the ball more.
They sure did.
But they were keeping the ball 4 and 5 minutes and punting it.
Yep.
The Eagles was keeping the ball 4 or 5 minutes and getting the ball in the end zone. And that's what you have to do. Convert third downs. Stay on the field. The best defense is Tom Brady on the sideline. Because with the exception of that strip by Graham, they really didn't get near Brady. They played.
I mean, they got near. They knocked him around a little bit.
Yeah, late in the ball game. The skill. I mean, he was fabulous. 500 yards. 3 receivers over 100 yards. 32 points? 33 points.
Yep.
But it didn't matter. Why? What happened in the fourth quarter, Skip, when Tom Brady is on his all-time best? What could...
Tom Brady was brilliant in this game. The Eagles, Tom Brady did good versus two good defenses, the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Philadelphia Eagles. I think the Philadelphia Eagles had probably the third or second best defense in the league next to Jaguars and the Vikings. And Tom Brady, he gassed them. He gassed them for throw after throw after long throw after deep throw. It was a remarkable game by Tom Brady for a man that's 40 years old.
What did the defense do? can get off the field. Because you remember, you're talking about how historically great he was. I just need to know why Tom Brady couldn't deliver the Patriots last night. I'll tell you why. What I've been telling you all along. Everybody wants to make it about Tom Brady. He's historically great. He's transcendent great. He's the greatest quarterback of all time. But there's a two-part series to this. When the defense can't get you off the field. Because in those 4 previous games, they had given up a total of 3 points against the Ravens in the championship game, against, who else they play? Oh, Seattle. Ooh, Seattle, the Legion of Boom. Atlanta Falcons, the Jacksonville Jaguars. The defense gave up 3 points. They gave up 12 yesterday, and that's what.
And now that's very pointed that Shannon Sharp is saying. Him and Skip always have an argument who deserved the most credit, Tom Brady or Bill Belichick. I think Shannon is more in the notion of they both deserve equal partnership in the credit. And I think Skip has all along been that Tom Brady deserves 70% of the credit, 75% of the credit, or some ridiculous number like that. But like Shannon said, your defense is like, because this football is a one-sided of the field playing game, the quarterback only has one, influence on one side of the ball, and that's offense. He can't control what the defense does. So like Shannon said, in those previous Super Bowls, like with the Panthers, the Saints, you know what I'm saying? At that time the Rams had the most potent offense with Kurt Warner, you know what I'm saying? Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt, and Marshall Faulk. They had